The Joker once said that Batman's friends and allies made him fat, made him weak, made him lose his edge. He believed that the Dark Knight was overly reliant on others to fight his battles. He believed that by torturing and killing Batman's partners, he would restore the Dark Knight to his former violent glory, ultimately doing him a kindness, which is some twisted Joker logic right there. Weirdly, it's also a logic that the last few Arkham games have subscribed to, with Bruce Wayne pushing away his allies at nearly every opportunity. If rumors are to be believed, however, it looks as though WB Montreal's next Arkham title could be set to make a break with that trend. Not much is known about the game, but with the Court of Owls looming in the distance, the Caped Crusader is going to need all the help he can get. So, it's Ewan, the Dork Knight, and here are 10 playable characters Batman Arkham Legacy must include. Number 10. Alfred Pennyworth. Bruce's loyal and loving butler, friend, and the closest thing to a father Master Wayne has known since that terrible night in Crime Alley, Alfred Pennyworth is a no-brainer. Long gone is the era which saw Alfred portrayed as the stuffy old English butler, fretting over the silverware as modern writers of comics, TV series, and Hollywood movies have turned Alfred into a total badass. He's former SAS, an expert hand-to-hand combatant, and a crack shot with firearms, which is pretty good because I imagine they wouldn't let him into the SAS if he wasn't good at those two things. But anyway, Alfred is a formidable presence in his own right. Imagine a scene in which Wayne Manor, in Bruce's absence, is invaded by a gang of thugs who do not perceive the middle-aged Englishman as a threat. Then, the next thing you know, bam! The old family's silver's flying, and Alfred's dropping thugs like a veritable Jonathan Wicketh III. Of course, the alternative could maybe be Alfred working on the Batcave and guiding Bruce through a heavily fortified building. That might work too. Number 9. Dick Grayson. The inclusion of Dick Grayson and his alter ego as Robin or Nightwing in the next game is an absolute must, given the presence of the Court of Owls. Although a playable character in both Arkham City and Arkham Knight, the former Robin has a literal connection to the Court. Historically recruited from within the ranks of Haley's Circus, the very same circus the Flying Graysons were part of, the Court's most current Talon assassin is none other than Dick's great-grandfather, William Cobb. This eventually leads to a prophecy where Dick is meant to be the chosen Talon, called the Grayson. You get it? Like, Dick Grayson, Grayson. Comics are really weird sometimes. Well, enough of that. It's still cool, and as for gameplay, Rocksteady need not stray too far from the existing Nightwing moveset and arsenal we have seen in previous entries in the franchise, with its signature acrobatic fighting technique and electrified battens at the forefront, except this time probably with Robin, given that Arkham Legacy is probably going to be a sequel to Origins and thus set before Arkham Asylum and before he becomes Nightwing. There's already a Robin character model they can use from Arkham Origins, but maybe they can throw in a few more cosmetic tweaks to the character model and costume to freshen things up. But Dick is already a commanding and powerful adversary to the Court as well as their allies, and the impending desperate struggle to protect himself and his friends from their hidden enemy will only prove to further demonstrate his impressive skills. Number 8. The Phantasm. Oh, this might be a pipe dream from yours truly, but I'm not giving up on those Arkham Origins Easter eggs yet. Located within the Batcave, players can spot a number of postcards from one Andrea Beaumont, who, as fans of Batman animated series will waste no time in telling you, is one of the greatest one-and-done characters in Batman history. It remains to be seen when the next Arkham game is set, but having an Arkhamized version of the Phantasm would be so cool. Even more so if they were a playable character. Their classic animated costume could be included, and while it might be too much to ask for Montreal to juggle both the Court of Owls and a Phantasm storyline into one game, there's always the chance they marry both mythologies together and maybe have Beaumont involved in a feud with the shadowy organization. Also, maybe throw in Shirley Walker's iconic Phantasm score for good measure. You know the one, it's all ha 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 ha. Number 7. Commissioner Gordon. Longtime ally to both Batman and Bruce Wayne, Commissioner James Gordon has been there from the beginning, one of the few constants in Bruce's tumultuous life. Making Gordon a playable character in the forthcoming title, even just for a single sequence, opens up a wealth of gameplay possibilities too, whether playing out on the blood-slicked streets of Gotham, taking out gangs of nameless henchmen and assorted goons, or in a more controlled boss fight environment, exchanging fire with Onomatopoeia for example, or even Deadshot. Cover shooter sections where Gordon would provide a refreshing spin on the Arkham formula. Gordon could also use his experience to piece together crime scene information and solve crimes by putting a fun spin on Batman's detective mode, his good old-fashioned intuition. Look, I've been rereading Gotham Central a lot lately, okay? If not Gordon, give me Renee Montoya or Harvey Bullock. You know what, just give me both. Number 6. Ace the Bat-Hound. There have been a plethora of playable pooches in video games in recent history, from Wolf-Link in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess to Amaterasu in Okami, so this might not be as crazy as it sounds. When Batman and Robin came across a stray German Shepherd and ultimately returned him to his owner, a bond was created between Ace the Bat-Hound and Bruce Wayne. When his master could no longer care for him, Ace was passed into Bruce's care and became an integral member of their crime-fighting family. He also has the best moment in Return of the Joker, where Batman and the future Terry McGinnis says, "Sick him," and he goes wild and attacks the Clown Prince. Absolute perfection. Anyway, seeing as how this isn't a perfect world and we're not getting a Batman Beyond game for the foreseeable future, it would be both incredible and entirely new for this franchise to control Ace in stealth sections in Arkham Legacy, sneaking around the alleyways and abandoned warehouses in Gotham, chasing down Ascent. Maybe he could also come in handy during gameplay, along the lines of D-Dog in Phantom Pain, where he'll bite people's hands and sleeves to stop armed attacks from attacking Batman. Number 5. Batgirl. Previously playable via a DLC pack and in various challenge arenas, Barbara Gordon's Batgirl would make another spectacular addition to Arkham Legacy, and serve to further expand Batman's little network of in-game compatriots. Fighting alongside Bruce and Dick for years as Batgirl, Commissioner Jim Gordon's daughter Barbara would see her tenure under the cowl brutally cut short by a gunshot wound to the spine, courtesy of the Clown Prince of Crime. That rhymed really tragically. We've seen her a lot as Oracle in the series, but if this game takes place after Origins and before Asylum, we could potentially see another Matter of Family style sequence where Babs is working as Batgirl. And really, that would be so cool. Montreal already developed the Matter of Family add-on, so they have plenty of experience to make Batgirl a great addition to the game. Number 4. Green Arrow. Rocksteady and Montreal have been building up to an Arkhamverse outside of Gotham for years now, and it's about time these references started getting paid off. One character I'd really like to see introduced first is Green Arrow, who has gradually increased his profile over the last decade, but totally not want to be Batman's show Arrow, and then in the markedly better Injustice video game series. He's a great presence, and when you factor in Black Canary too, you have a winning combination. Swap the many and varied gadgets and gizmos in Batman's inventory wheel for arrows with unique payloads, explosive arrows, electrified arrows, boxing glove arrows, and holding all of his reins to take down the scum and villainy of Gotham would be an amazing experience. Did I mention the boxing glove arrow? I did. The boxing glove arrow is amazing. Number 3. Thomas Wayne, Batman Flashpoint. Having made use of dream sequences and toxin-induced hallucinations to spectacular effect in previous titles, Warner Bros. Montreal could undoubtedly find a way to include the Thomas Wayne version of Batman in Arkham Legacy. In the alternate Flashpoint timeline, Thomas, traumatized in this instance by the death of his son Bruce at the hands of Joe Chill in Crime Alley, dons the cape and cowl and embarks on a brutal campaign of revenge, killing and maiming as he goes, unencumbered by the morals and rules our Batman and his team abide by. We all love a good nightmare sequence in these titles, and something along those lines in Legacy would present the perfect opportunity for players to take control of a corrupted version of Batman. Obviously, the alternate skin appeared in Arkham Knight, but maybe what we need is a Flashpoint-themed challenge map, sort of how Montreal themed the Nightfall content for Arkham Origins. Number 2. Lady Shiva. Although I've been banging the drum for Arkham Origins for literal years now, I did think that the side missions weren't entirely the best, and that it was there where it was most obvious that corners were cut. The game's introduction of Lady Shiva was seemingly the biggest example, with her introduction intimating that there would have been twice as many encounters with the martial artist than what ultimately ended up being in Arkham Origins. Still, one would assume the character still has a key part to play in Montreal's plans, if those plans were the same as they were 7 years ago, given all the cancellations. So many games lost, like Tears in the Rain. Well, anyway, Shiva, get her in the game. Why? Well, there's one big reason. And that's mainly because she's the best martial artist in the DC universe, up there with the likes of Cassandra Cain and Richard Dragon. Playing as Shiva would necessitate a faster, more fluid style of combat and one less reliant on gadgetry. Factor in the likelihood that the court will be going up against the League of Assassins, and you have the potential for some really cool factional conflict where you experience it from the point of view of either the League under Shiva or the court via a talent. And number 1, Batwoman. So, we have a Batgirl, we have Dick Grayson, and we have Batman. That's a Titanic trio if there ever was one, but you know who I really want to see? Who I really want to see? Batwoman. Yep, that's right, I want to see Kate Kane make her full-blown video game debut, where she's part of the Bat family, kicking ass, rocking that awesome black and red design, and just generally being the coolest Bat character ever. One of the best Easter eggs in the Arkham games came in Night, where you actually learn that Kate is getting married to longtime girlfriend Maggie Sawyer, which didn't actually end up happening in the comics because, you know, DC's editors during the New 52, not too great. Yep, but anyway, whatever. The voice message implied that the pair of them had been through a lot by the events of Night, so now's the perfect time to delve into that past and show what exactly Batwoman was doing beforehand. Not only would Kate bring with us some great villains like Director Bones and Alice, she'd also bring a different style of fighting. Kate has a military background, and one would expect that to inform the way she fights in-game. Look, to me this is something that is staring us all in the face. Batwoman is such a boss character, and to not use her in any way at all would be so disappointing. And yeah, that was our list. What playable characters do you want to see in Arkham Legacy? Please let me know down in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also to hit that notification bell so you never miss another upload going forward. You can find more lists and articles like this at whatculture.com/gaming, and more of me over on Twitter at @UMRunesThings. That's all for now though, have a great day, and remember, keep analysing those Arkham teasers. Bye!